All right. So we're excited right now. I'm about to do a live audit. I said I'm just going to hop on and see what it looks like to audit one of our child care centers. I'm going to start with a child care center that, or a state that I'm unfamiliar with. And we'll just do an audit. We'll go through their website. We'll see kind of why they rank, why certain websites are ranking, why they are on top. And let's just take a look, right? I'm going to do Daycare in Idaho. I've personally never been to Idaho. And so here, a couple of child care centers come up at the top. Let me put my, I'm still trying to figure out this little camera thing, but let me hide myself right here in this corner. And a couple things that shows up to me is that these child care centers have quite a bit. They don't have 5 stars, so just remember that. Looks like you don't have to be 5 stars to show up at the top. But what I'm noticing is that they have quite a bit of Google reviews, right? So they do have Google reviews. They all have websites. Let's see here, 4.8, even 3.8, 4.8. So they're all various different reviews. Let's pick the first one. Let's see kind of what's unique about Little Sprites of Idaho Child Care Center. Let's go click on the website. I see some photos, which I think is really good. Not everything is 5. There's a 1 star, so don't think that one person who reviews you is going to completely tank you. But look, there's 20 other reviews that are positive, and there's 1. So my assumption here is that I'm not even going to pay attention. If I'm a parent, I'm not even going to pay attention to the 1 star. I'm only going to pay attention to the 5 stars, right? Or the higher ones, because the 1 star seems out of place. I mean, I think that's the one thing to look at, right? It's, hey, somebody gave me a 1 star, but everyone else gave me a 5 star. So that 1 star seems out of place. So I'm probably not even going to worry about it as a parent. And it looks like Google also does not worry about it neither. It also looks like some top rated. So it looks like Google does have the ability to search for top rated. And I'm going to click on Idaho. Let's click on the website. It looks like the first one that pops up, it says this daycare is clean and neat and very well organized. So you can see when someone's searching for it, that's the first thing that kind of appears. So I can't emphasize this enough. I can't say it enough. I can't emphasize it enough. Make sure you get your Google reviews. Make sure you get parents to review you who've had great experiences, who've had any experience, and put a review on my website. Tell me if you like me, tell me that you like me. Show me that you like me, right? So one thing about and how I can emphasize this enough is that you need to get Google reviews. I don't know how important it is to say that, because Google uses that as a signal, as an indicator to determine if you should get ranked, right? So if you have a Google page, make sure that those reviews look decent, right? And look at this one. This person has 74 reviews. That's a lot of work to get 74 reviews. So I commend a Child's Heart Learning Center in Boise, Idaho. So look, I ended up in Boise, Idaho here. So now let's take a look at Little Sprouts of Idaho Child Care Center. I'm gonna click on website. Ooh, hey, there's a lot of things that I like about this. Lots. Hey, I commend that. Okay. A couple of things that I commend is, number one is that the header, it doesn't just say where your little one is safe and loved, right? But it says Boise's Modern Early Learning Center. So it's important that the city name is in your header, and it's in your header, right? So in your heading tag, you want the city name. That is something that that Google and different browsers, they look for the city name. That's another signal, another indicator. So now they know that, oh, this is in Boise, So if anyone is in the city of Boise, Idaho, I need to present them to this site because it has the name in the actual header. So just consider that. So go on your website, see if the name is there. Another thing, oh my gosh, look, the phone number, top right hand corner, the phone number is clickable. So that is very important when you go onto a particular site, that your phone number is clickable, that you can click on the phone number. I don't know if you notice, I have a regular arrow, and then when I hover over it, it's actually clickable. So that means that if I click it on a mobile phone, it's going to go ahead and call it, right? Where you see these, you see how I can hover over these other texts, and it looks almost like it's like a cursor. It's a different symbol, but here it's a hand. That means it's clickable, which means that on a phone, a person can go ahead and just click it. They don't have to try to memorize the phone number 986-217 or write it down. We're removing all friction. So because we're removing friction, whoever designed this website, I think did a pretty good job. Other thing that they have is schedule a tour button. They said statistically it's so important to have the ability to schedule a tour right then and there on your website, right? And aesthetically, I think a lot of people, we do concern ourselves about how a website looks and how a website's supposed to look. Truthfully, it's not as important as you think it is, right? The look of your website is not as important as how optimized your website is, right? So I think that's going to be very important. A couple of things I already noticed I think is going well for this center, and that might be why they're ranking so high, is that clickable phone number, city appears on the header. I don't have to figure out what city it's in. I have the ability to schedule a tour. Let me open new tab. Let's see if I go to schedule a tour. I have this, you can't see it, but I have a box right in front of this thing here. Oh, okay, so I see what they did. So the schedule a tour button is not really a schedule a tour. It's just the same button. It's just a ability to call them, right? So when I click it, it actually calls them. Another thing I thought was pretty cool is now enrolling, and it puts the age groups right there. I don't have any digging or searching. Is my child within 6 weeks to 12 years old? They also have a summer program. I think that's all great. Some testimonials. I think that's very important to have on your website. I don't even know if people are going to actually go through and read this, but I do think seeing that, scanning and seeing, oh my gosh, somebody said something is truly wonderful, and they have names. Sabrina is very kind. So there are people, it's real. It feels real, right? It feels authentic. And then, of course, you have the ability to actually contact. Put my first name, put my last name. Those things are so extremely important. The ability just to contact the person easily. So I really do think that one of the reasons that this website is winning, without even looking at all the behind the scenes and inspecting the different tags that's on this website, and just looking at the optimization, just looking at it from a parent's perspective, they did all the right things. I would recommend that they have some type of automation to schedule a tour. Either go to Calendly or some other automation where you click it and the person can go ahead and put their information in and put a time slot in. I would go ahead and just recommend that, right? To childcare owners and business owners, just go ahead and put the ability. If you have a business model where you want someone to tour or be able to book a slot, go ahead and put that ability on the website, right? I think that's gonna one more thing to remove friction, because then right now we're gonna have, if an interested parent comes on, they're gonna have to make that phone call, and not everyone's like, oh, okay, it's like I have to find time to make a phone call, things like that. But if the schedule a tour, it's like I can just do everything from the website. I don't have to call anyone. I can just see when it's available, just plug it right there, right in. So that is one recommendation that I would have. is having the schedule a tour button actually take me to a place where I can, on a calendar, and schedule an actual tour. Other than that, really simple website, gives me some information, tells me the age groups, has the testimonials, and then also has the ability to contact. I can go through some other pages, and I do like this. I do like that it has the ability to show the different programs, infants, toddlers, school age, preschool. I do like that. I'm curious. Let's see what it looks like. Has some information. I think this is really good. I think it has information about each program. I think that's great. It looks like there is a Fairview enrollment location. Oh, they even have the prices right there. I think that's great as well. Is putting the prices, if you're comfortable with that, reduces friction. The parent can be like, okay, this is within my budget. I'll go ahead and give a call. I do appreciate that. If you are a child care center that's more hesitant to put your prices, I think that's fine. It's just that you need to be able to communicate it quickly to the parent, like, hey, how much does this thing cost? So I think that might be an opportunity for automation. But there's also, you can look at it here, is that the questions to your answers are right there. And I think that's really what you would look at, right? Is when I'm going to my homepage, what are some questions that someone might have, right? It's like, oh, okay, what city are you in? It's right here. What age group do you serve? It's right here. How can I contact you? Or no, what has other people said about this center? It's right here. How can I contact you? Right here. So every question has an answer. And I think that's a great opportunity for it to rank properly. All right. Little Sprouts of Idaho Childcare, you're doing an awesome job. Keep it up. Hopefully you are thriving and doing all kinds of great things and servicing all types of children in your community. Now, if I was to go back, I clicked a lot. Let's see here. All right. Who else do we have here? Maybe we have time to audit a second one. Let's look at the Barnyard Daycare and Learning Center. Let's click. Ooh, I like it. Okay. So number one, what I do appreciate about the Barnyard Daycare and Learning Center, and I wish I knew how to move this box, but I'm not going to worry about it, is that it has the photos of the center right here on their Google page. So I don't know if most of you may or may not know this, but you can add photos directly to your Google page. So it makes it a lot easier when people are, what does that place look like? They might not even worry about touring the place because the photos are right here. They're like, I don't need a tour. I see where it is. I see the street view. I see the photos of inside. So it gives me almost everything I need to know about the center. And I think that is something that really goes a long way. Is, okay, I see some photos here. I see that they have a garden. So I can answer all kinds of questions just by looking at some of these photos here. So I think that's really good. Another thing that they have is they have a high number of reviews. I have 27 reviews. I think that's great. Would I really even click on it? Oh, look, you see, back to what I kind of said here. Yeah, they have a negative review, but I'm not even going to worry about that, right? Personally, I would look at the scale. The scale is tipped one direction, right? The scale is really tipped at, there's a lot more 5 stars than there are 1 stars, right? It looks like there's a couple of 1 stars, but for the most part, it's 5 stars. And so as a parent, I personally think parents would look at that scale and say, okay, hey, it's mostly 5 stars. You got some negative experiences, but I'm not going to really worry about it. So I don't think you guys should really harp on 1 or 2 or a handful of negative reviews. It really is about just getting more positive ones. Do your best to get more reviews, put QR codes in different places, put them behind the badges of your teachers, put them at the front desk, put them in the bathrooms, put them into classrooms, put them at different places so that people can be reminded to review you. But so far, I'm seeing, great things. I scrolled down. It looks like Google does a great job at putting some of the positive ones first. I think that's really good as well. Some of the positive feedback. I see the words like amazing, and I see the words take the time, and I see, did they mention breakfast? So these things all stand out to me like, oh my gosh, it's a good, these are positive things that are happening at the center. I think these are all things that we just do not neglect. Do not neglect your Google page at all. Do your best to make sure that you are posting on your Google page. Do not neglect. I'm going to go ahead and click website here. Ooh, hey, somebody did some cool stuff with graphics. I kind of like it. And it's interesting because here's some suggestions, but we'll go ahead and I do like the the graphics and the Barnyard Daycare and Learning Center. And looks like they have multiple locations. They have the ability to, and some of it they're not necessarily following the, put your name in the H1. So we'll see the heading tag. It says "Welcome to the Barnyard Daycare and Learning Center," and so I think that's also maybe just kind of a missed opportunity. But I do see some of the other keywords here, so that might be where their opportunity is. So experienced Boise City licensed staff. So they have some of the keywords. So I think that's also important. If you don't have your keywords in your heading, you need to have it in the content of your pages, right? You definitely want the location. They're also talking about experienced Boise. They're talking about the Brightwell application. They're also here, about us, infants to school age, take a tour. I like that. Let's take a look. So they have photos right here of the actual, okay, that's pretty cool. So I think if I'm a parent and I want to be able to see quickly, I want to be able to quickly see the classrooms, I can do that. I can see the certifications, I can do that. I have the information. It looks like they have a Facebook page. There's a Google page. There's an Instagram page. They have the ability to enroll. Let's see. Okay. So looks like there's multiple locations here. And that might be why their heading tag doesn't just have one location, but that is their opportunity. If you have multiple locations, looks like they're all in Boise. So you could just put that in your heading tag. So that's the number one thing I would say is a couple of changes that I would do is add, welcome to the Barnyard Daycare and Learning Center located in Boise, Idaho, right? Or Boise. I think that's an opportunity that they can have to rank a little bit better. So you remember what I was talking about before, that phone number that's not clickable? You see how I just hover over it, it doesn't become a hand? That's very important, that top number becomes a hand. But you see right here, it does. It's clickable at the bottom, but it's not clickable at the top. And the top, it's very rare that now because it's not clickable, they're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. But that's also added friction, added unnecessary friction. So go ahead and make this clickable so that they can go ahead and click it. You have the separate locations. You have the gallery. You have the ability to contact. I like that. So just so here, I always go back and forth in terms of just trying to get too much information at the beginning. But here they have the parent's name, the child's name, the date of birth. And I think they can make a decision based off of that, right? They even have the different locations. It looks like they have their 3 locations that are pretty close to each other, and that might be what's helping their ranking is that that they have these locations that are signaling in multiple locations, so people are trying to go to certain locations using Google or using Google Maps, and that's also going to help as well. But the inquiry, you have all this information and you can go ahead and gather that. So I think I find that interesting. I think there's I might need to look at some of the heading tags, but I think this website is not necessarily following exactly the way, but it's still ranking. And I think the reason for that is what we saw at the beginning is these 27 reviews, right? So that might be something that's kind of an indicator. 27 reviews, 4.7, multiple locations that are signaling on Google. There could be various reasons. It could be even the heading tags. Some of the tags on the website done well. Maybe the photos. That could be something that stands out to me that makes it rank higher, right? So it's like, oh, I'm looking at, and those are the different indicators. Like I'm comparing, I'm like, oh, this person has a lot of photos. So we talked about that at the beginning. That could be a reason why a lot more people are viewing this daycare to look at these photos, and these photos are very well done. The grasses looks trim, the inside looks neat. I'm looking at very quirky, weird looking things that seem to be very interesting. So those are things that could be the reason why it's ranking so much higher. So hopefully this audit helped for today, help shine some light on some things that you can do on your website. Hopefully it shines some light on why we think certain pages are ranking and they're doing very well. Just whatever you took away, I hope you took away something positive. One is that, add some photos to your Google page. Make sure you get some Google reviews. Watch this entire video. We got so much positive things to pay attention to. Just watch this video and see what changes you can apply to your website. All right? Till the next time.